everyone, Kathy the Vegan Prepper here to open up a conversation today about minimalism and prepping and how those two ideals can go together very well, even though they seem like polar opposites. And I think one of the reasons that actually both things seem to fit so well into my life, even because I really believe, like, I consider myself an aspiring minimalist and an aspiring prepper, or really I'm both things. Even if I'm not 100% where I want to be in either area, I am those things. It's more about my trajectory than it is about my current results, right? And that's true for almost anything, any goal, anything you're trying to achieve. Be more concerned with your trajectory than you are with the current results. And so for minimalism, I have always experienced anxiety when I have kind of too many things. And it's something that's been very freeing for me to get rid of things systematically, to have on hand pretty much only the things that I really need to live, to be fulfilled, to be happy. It's amazing how few things it requires to live a life that I like to live. And getting away from that consumerist mindset, getting away from the stress. And it's kind of incredible when you have a home that's kind of more open and more free. You can just like clean like that. Like, you don't have to pre-clean and pick everything up before you clean. Of course, I kind of do a little bit now because I have a 2-year-old, but for the most part, I'm not having to like clear off surfaces before I can dust or any of that. Like it just frees you so much. And so minimalism and prepping have freedom, I think, at their core, and that's why they can exist in the same space. So extreme minimalists, it's like sometimes they're competing to see, he who dies with the least stuff wins. Like, they want to be able to live with just a chair and, like, I don't know, feel important because of how few things they have, which is a funny thing, like where a lot of times people want to feel important for all the cool stuff they have, but like with minimalism, sometimes you're getting to the other extreme. And again, for me, it is just that freedom to live the life that I want to live. And that includes also keeping enough things on hand to feel like I am being self-sufficient in my own life and for my own family. I know that there are some minimalists out there who won't even keep like a hammer or a drill because they're like, I could just borrow it. I could just go buy it if I need one. Or borrow it. And it's like, I'm not getting rid of my tools, y'all. Like, I'm keeping my tools because I don't want to have to go try to borrow something from somebody if I need something and it's like an emergency situation, right? So that's kind of where the prepper mindset comes in. And so for minimalism and prepping, both two are focused on having the right amount for the perceived need. And I think the level of need is also the thing that kind of unites minimalism and prepping, and it's also the thing that sort of sets it apart, because with a lot of minimalists, they are focusing only on what they need for like a day-to-day kind of weekly basis almost, because they don't feel like they need to keep things in their home because they'll be able to just go get whatever they need later. And that to me is where I have always kind of had like a break with at least a little bit of that minimalist mindset, because it really is dependent upon the world system, such as it is, staying completely stable and staying the same. I think a lot of us have seen over the last couple months, grocery stores being bare, things that have happened as a result of this pandemic, forced quarantine. In some places, it was like seriously locked down. Going off to borrow something was not even an option. I think that there were times when you couldn't even, like my mother-in-law couldn't even buy seeds for her garden because it was deemed non-essential. And so she was not, even though they were sitting there in the store, she was not allowed to go buy this thing that she needed for her life. And I cannot believe that the government was allowed to tell people in certain places what was and was not essential to their life. That's a whole other topic, whole other conversation I don't want to start, actually. But like, seriously, they had the power, or took the power really, to be able to tell a person this is essential and this is not. And that, so people were unable to procure the things that were actually essential to their lives because somebody else decided, if it's not food, then you don't really need it. And so that is where, it's like having that stuff on hand for yourself represents, represents freedom and security. So it's security because the level of your need kind of changes, I think, with the level of your awareness. And so, like, I'm not trying to have as few things as possible, but I just want clear floors. I want clear surfaces. I have a few board games, for our family to play, if we lose power and things like that, things to keep us entertained in the event of something like that. We've got physical printed books in case there are, who knows, like if every single bit of your media, your books, everything is stored on the cloud, what if you still have power but we lose internet for some reason? What will you do to entertain yourself if you have no Netflix, no Hulu, no books, no Kindle, no? And I'm just like, like, even as a prepper, I'm kind of like thinking of that, like, that would be horrible. No YouTube, and so, kind of thinking through those things. If you had to keep yourself entertained for days on end, do you have enough things in your house to keep yourself entertained? Can you write? Can you read a book? Excuse me. It would be really handy to have some water. Like, I should have prepped and had some water here for this video. Can you keep yourself entertained? Can you keep your family entertained? Do you have like craft supplies on hand? I'm not saying go insane, but like stuff like cross stitching or even knitting, if you're not building a giant stash, you could have enough on hand to keep yourself kind of entertained, for a little while. So sort of thinking of things like that, like do you have the ability to entertain yourself? So that's kind of like little things here and there that I think a lot of us have kind of realized over these last months. Again, thankfully, we still had internet, we still had electricity, but even still, I don't want to spend my whole life on a screen. I don't. Like, I actually actively work to not spend my life on a screen. But anyway, I also want to talk a little bit too. So with minimalism, it is not about having the least amount of things. It is about kind of being the architect of your life and having only those things that are truly essential to your peace and your well-being, which again, I think really does go well with prepping, because if you have a prepping mindset, you're about creating security and making sure that your family is secure and safe if anything should happen, be it some sort of global catastrophe, national, local, or even just a deeply personal issue that comes up in your own life, like a very timely thing that has happened recently, actually just yesterday, to one of my absolute closest friends on earth. An ER visit that turned into an emergency surgery. And now there's a recovering person in the family, and they have, luckily they have some local family to take care of them. But imagine if everybody would have that 2-week supply of food at least, or a month or 3 months. Where if something like that happened in your life, you would not even have to go to a grocery store for at least a few weeks. Imagine what a load that would take off of your mind, how much less anxiety you would have to be able to just walk into your pantry and have ready-made meals ready to go, whether it's in a jar and you just dump it out and add some water, get stuff cooked and ready to go really quickly. Not having to rely on eating out and spending all of your money on that, just having everything ready and prepared. What a peaceful, wonderful situation it could be in the midst of, something chaotic. You could have like that one shining light of ease and peace, and I think stuff like that is far more likely, of course, than all the shenanigans that goes on. But that's kind of my passion about. That is my passion, to bring awareness to preparedness too, that preparedness is not all about, the apocalypse and some crazy end of the world scenario. Preparedness is also just about peace and security for your immediate life and the random things that could happen. Like I've heard stories too, because I belong to some groups on Facebook of people, who get into an accident. The car is totaled. They have to buy a new car. And so they're able to put money towards a car, and then because they have a few months of food stored away, it's not a financial disaster for their family because they can just eat off of what they've already stored for a few months. So like I said, there's plenty of personal examples where it becomes very wise to become prepared. And then just that peace. It's about cultivating peace and freedom. And I think that the two things go together very well too. Like, for instance, when I started prepping, I had already been minimalist for quite a while, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need an entire closet in my house to store some of this food, and I go to a closet that has like 2 things in it, and I'm like, check, and pull those things out, and I have a closet just ready to start storing stuff. Our houses are not set up anymore for food storage. When you think back, back in the day, old houses, they used to be built with root cellars, basements, because people were storing food. Like, this used to just be normal, and now it's become some sort of fringe, strange movement. And I think that actually combining the lifestyles of minimalism and prepping, like food storage and stuff, it's basically getting back to the way people used to live. Like, that used to just be the way that it was. Like, you didn't have a huge excess of things, and you didn't have a house that didn't have a store of food, at least if they were, privileged and they were well off and they were able to do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that was just sort of like the cultural norm. And so I hope that it can kind of become the cultural norm again. People can break away from consumerism, and then they can also begin to focus more towards keeping themselves prepared and well able to face the random things that may come up in life. So anyway, hopefully that was a worthwhile conversation. If you have, more you'd like to add, put it down below. Or if you want to ask questions, go ahead. I'm not famous enough. I take time to answer comments. I have plenty of time to do it. I don't have enough comments yet. So yeah, I just think it's like a kind of something that's been on my mind lately. And I don't know, I've been thinking about it and watching some more minimalism videos on YouTube. And these single guys make me laugh on YouTube. I don't want to say, I guess I shouldn't say anything. I'm not trying to make fun of them, but yeah, like these young single guys, all about setting goals and being minimalists and stuff. And I'm just laughing so hard. I've been trying to film this video for 4 hours, just with all the stuff going on in my daughter and her nap and screaming and waking up in the middle of her nap, in the middle of filming like the 3rd take. This is probably like the 8th take of this video that I've done. It just cracks me up. Anyway, it's like, y'all are so cute. You're so sweet. You think that you're like busy. Anyway, but yes, I think that those two things go together very well. And I think that they can bring peace to your life when your life really needs some peace. But anyway, that's it. That's me, going off topic as I do. So again, hopefully you found that worthwhile. And as always, I hope the rest of your day is good. Your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Talk to you guys later. Bye.